Hi, I'm the Brick Pie, and today we're gonna haul some cargo with this locomotive. So grab a drink if you're liking, take a seat by the fire, and enjoy. This is a Bluebrixx special locomotive, the V200 in the 8 wide version. As always, start with the hard facts before we start with the talking. Set ID is 107447. It's called Locomotive V200 8 wide. It's got 918 pieces, a list price of €45. It weighs 690 gram, which makes for 4.87 cents per piece and 6.5 cents per gram. Bluebrixx special. We got this nice box with a sticker on the side, lots of design features, and no printed instruction, as always. There were a few spare pieces in there, nothing too fancy. I could not find my collectible box for that. I deeply apologize. But as I said, there were a few spare pieces, but nothing too fancy. About this locomotive, first of all, I love this. I love that we've got a locomotive, a cargo locomotive, and also in 8 wide, because 8 wide is typically the size that fits locomotives better than the standard 6 wide size, because it allows for more features to be displayed detailed. This is still not really a locomotive to be played with. You can motorize this locomotive with 2L motors. The instruction even tells you where to mount them and how to mount them. We'll open it up in a moment and I'll show you the general idea behind that. But it does not really do well when you move it around. If you're older and like not really like a kid in a way, like 6, 7, 8-year-old kid, you'll also do fine if you push that around, because that does quite nicely. But the moment you start to carry it around, it will not really like that a lot. So much for that. Something worth mentioning before we really go into that set, 2 things. First of all, the entire roof is packed with flat silver elements, and that is terrific. I love that. It's not just like dark bluish grey or something like that some specific Scandinavian vendor would typically pack into that thing. This is all flat silver. Flat silver all the way. I love that. And the entire part up here, most of that is flat silver, and that's amazing. I mean, you probably see the reflections from my lighting. That is because it is flat silver and it is shiny as it's supposed to be. So that is cool. Another thing, and that is unique for Bluebrixx Special, we've got prints. Wait, how do I do that? Let's do it like that. All these elements here are prints. That is new, and I love that, because this is one of the most distinguished detail of this locomotive, and Bluebrixx decided not to just dump that. They decided against stickers, which is awesome. Thank you for that. So they decided to go the extra mile and do the couple of prints. These pieces these come packed separately, so they don't get scratched, which is another small detail that is amazing and the quality feature. So yet another bonus point. Nice, I like that. So for other vendors out there, this is how it's done. If you've got valuable pieces that are required to look good for the entire set to look good, pack them separately. Do quality prints and your customers will love it. Nobody gives it down if the set costs €5 more in the end. If that is what you want, or if the customers want that kind of quality, they'll pay these $5 more for that quality. So yeah, well done Bluebrixx for doing that here. But yeah, so much for talking about all of that. I already started dismantling the roof, so let's do that completely and start with the roof in general. The entire roof, that is probably the only thing I can and will criticize about that, is a bit wobbly because this entire part is built in an angle. So I could angle it all up. You see the difference here. Oops. That is about 1 stud difference that you just angle down, as you see here. But these do not have an angle. These just straight pieces that you push on there. So they are not entirely connected on all these studs. Since it's so many studs, it does not matter too much, but if you do not align everything perfectly, you'll see the small gap in between and these things might come off. So that is the one part where maybe there is a better design idea. I have to admit, I don't know of a better way to do that. So maybe they thought of all the other ideas and every other idea they had just did not look that great. I can't really judge that too harshly because I don't know of a better way to do that. So in the end it is fine, but it does feel really weird when the instruction tells you to just push the roof tiles on top of that on an angle without an angle there. That is a bit weird. The angle that you've got there is exactly the angle on these. So you push them against these, you lean them against these pieces, against these, I don't know how they're called. So it does have a little bit of support, but not too much. When we're looking inside there, you notice there is a ton of open space, and that is exactly where the motors are supposed to go in. Because in the middle you could put the battery box, and then on each end of that, this and this, below the driver's cabin, you would put the motor. You even see the rod that this will connect to. Oops. And now you can look through, and maybe you can see that this thing is rotating. It does rotate because I am turning this down below. Let's take off the other one. I'm turning this. And this, on the other hand, goes through this hole. There you've got the entire wheel set. I must admit, this design is amazing, and I hope this will be the new design idea as a base design idea for trains from now on by Bluebrixx. This can surely be refined, and you could do that better, but compared to many of the previous drive sets or wheel sets that we've had, this is surely a step forward, because others either looked crap or they looked amazing, but they just disassembled themselves by the slightest touch. This one is rather sturdy, it looks great, and you can motorize it. What else you want? And if you really don't want that, you can just pull these out and put normal wheel set on there. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But that is also why I said this is not meant to be played with by kids, because a kid will pick that up, and this entire thing is rather heavy because you have all these rods and gears and all of that in there. So, and this is only connected with this one. So this is stuck on there, and you can imagine the moment that a kid picks that up and carries this around, they will fall off. So yeah, that's this. But if you motorize that and drive it around on a track, this thing will look beautiful. I guarantee you that. And again, all of that for a price that is totally acceptable. There's nothing to argue with the, what was it, €45 that it cost? You're paying €45 for more than 900 pieces. For a locomotive that you could motorize. Yes, you could argue the motor is not included, but on the other hand, the motor and battery box set does not cost that much of a fortune. Many people do not want to motorize their locomotives, they just want to put them on a shelf where they look good, or they want to push them around themselves. These people will be forced to buy another motor, which they maybe don't want to. This way they are free to the choice. The design prepares you to motorize the set. So there's no harm done if you want to. You do not have any kind of disadvantage if you want to motorize the set or if you don't want. So I really like the way that Bluebrixx designed this and thought this through in the end. So for me, that is a job well done. Yeah, okay, I'll break that. So I'll do that. No, I think I made it. So you see, it does work, but it is a bit weird. Yeah, now you see, if it's not perfectly aligned, it will just jump off again. But yeah, I'll do the rest later. But I think that is about everything that is to be said about that locomotive. As I said, I like the design idea, I like the way it is made and built. The parts are amazing. So overall, it is a job well done. More please. So yeah, I think with that said, I've said everything that is to be said, which leaves me only to say bye. I'm the Bluebrixx.